Bang, bang, a lang, bang, a lang. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to your main man, Mr. Puzzle Man, and you're watching Who Dat with Timmy.
You say you're going to call me back, but I can't keep my phone on. I broke so telling them I need one job. My neighbor them just got robbed. Things seem easy, man, things so hard. Even rap to say, oh my God, man in the man, give one job. My neighbor them just got robbed. Things seem easy, man, things so hard. The love in jungle say,
Welcome back to Who It's your boy Timmy and here Puzzle. So Puzzle, the first thing I always ask the artists is where did they get that name from? So and to me that's just that's a very artistic name, Puzzle. Where you can cut that from?
Well, that's a very, first of all, bang, bang, a lang, bang, a lang. We got to get that intro in there.
And make sure people know who you is.
You know what you're doing, you got to know who you're talking to.
Okay, I understand.
But you know, I always get that question, where did you get this puzzle name? After I lived in London, I lived in Canada, I live in LA, so many different parts of the world, and I found out when I was in my travels, I was able to produce every genre of music I touched with, every type of clientele I dealt with. So it kind of came from the ability to touch any genre, to put everything in one perspective. So when you hear puzzle, that's a different piece of every genre that comes into making me who I am.
So Puzzle, you use a veteran in the game. So let the people, but I always take us back to the beginning. So use 2, 3, maybe it's in church, maybe your parents was playing this vinyl, the CD. Let me know where were you, your earliest memory of falling in love with music.
That's far back. That's had to have been like when my father was, and he had his gospel group called the Elevations. They were one of the top gospel groups back in the day. You remember that song, My Lord is Right?
Yeah.
That's Daddy them. And so, just following him around and going to all his practices and all his shows and just being with him all the time. And then through going to church and, learning to play keyboard, learning to play drums, it just kept going from there, just kept building from there, singing in choirs and singing in school choirs. And it started from when I was really young. I'd say I could probably talk or walk. I was probably into music.
And to talk about the steps you take to going from the church to school, actually becoming a full-time recording artist.
Boy. The steps are pretty much easy to figure out because the transition was always the inevitable. I was always doing music anyway, so it was just going from learning to play music to singing in the choirs, like I said, and eventually started to actually write songs. And then from there, it just exploded from there.
And can you remember the first song you ever recorded?
It had to been a song called Life is Too Short, and it was by, work with me on that project. Remember Nat Williams?
Yeah.
Nat actually recorded my very first song in the Milky Way studio off Burnett Road. Not much people know about the Milky Way studio. Shout outs to Greg White and the crew. That studio was the bomb back in the day.
I usually go deep in the past, but now you brought up Nat Williams. Let's fast forward a few weeks ago. You performed at the Nat Williams Band for concert Unplugged 2. So the one that he did your first song. Talk to me how it makes you to perform at that event, honoring his memory.
That was a blast. It was great. Tell you the truth, while I was performing, I got a lot of flashbacks and memories because he was a really, really, really great person to work with and a very great person, like in total anyway. But just to be there at the concert with all the other Bahamian artists, we had every genre I think represented that night, was truly amazing, and it was very memorable. I'm looking forward to doing it again.
So we going back to the past. You said your name Puzzle. You do a bunch of genres. Because right now people you as the hardcore rake and scrape, that down home, that dirty saw puzzle. But that is not the only thing you do. So talk us about the different genres you've been through your career.
Yeah, we did. I produced music for Arabs, for Jews. I mean, the list goes on. Indians. But I'm also a pop artist. I'm also a reggae artist. You remember the big song, Sour Vibes? EDM, dance music, animal. I mean, it's just gospel music. I got everything out there right now. Everything.
And I know you really can't choose. If you had to pick a genre other than the rake and scrape, would you pick what you're more comfortable in?
Boy, that's a tough one. I really like dance music. I'm really comfortable with EDM and dance music. That's my kind of thing. I like to write it. And almost forgot, I even produced stuff with Shabak back in the day. On their first album, I actually sang on that first album. And a lot of people, I guess, probably don't know that. But if you do the research,
you would know.
you'll find I'm there.
because tonight you're mine. I'm an animal, yes I am. I'm an animal, yes I am. I'm an animal, yes I am. I'm on a hot girl.
And I'm calling you a sister. I'm there for Jack of all trades. I feel like that's too much. You literally do. You said sing, songwrite, all these genres produce. Talk to me about how easy it was for produce, knowing that you grew up playing these instruments.
You want to know if it was easy? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, once you understand music, you understand the concept. After that, it's all about your heart. Like, what do you feel? Like, if you're in a box or you're out of the box, and that's what's going to make you a good producer or a regular producer. I'll always look to come out of the box and try to experiment and take different sounds from different genres and bring them into something and then turn it into something new. So it's a little bit like a conch salad. We put a little something in that, a little something in that, some of this, and make it into something beautiful that people can listen to and they can dance to. If I can't play it on a little Charlie and dancing, I know that ain't the one. So always watch the kids dancing, because they innocent. They don't really care how you feel. They're gonna tell you exactly if it's hard or not.
So going back, your inspirations. Talk to me about growing up, international and being the artists you looked up to. Maybe to try not really emulate, but just try to order yourselves behind so you could be a successful artist. Because I sure growing up, you might not think, man, it's like you didn't just wake up and just say I could do this. You had to probably take from someone you see this artist do this or that. Just talk to me about your inspirations.
Oh boy, we listened to Michael Jackson, People Price, and like I say, my own man. I always watched him. BB Winans, everybody grew up on them. It's like all the older groups back in the day we used to listen to, and we fell in love with that type of music. You find that a lot of the now producers, we listen to a lot of the old Motown versus the old reggae. All that old music was what we were listening to that actually turned us into what we are today.
Just to switch lanes, I was telling you earlier, my earliest memory, because my parents' house is about a walking distance from your parents' house. I remember I was working with my daddy, and I remember you bragging about I massaged this one and this one. So talk to me about that part of your career, using masseuse, and how important that might have played into your connections, because networking is something serious. So maybe you used that to get there. Talk to me about that.
Wow, you went far back. It's way, way, way. But many people don't even know that that's something I did. But yeah, I work with most of the celebrities people see on TV. I had to actually work on them and work with them. And it's been a tremendous experience. I won't trade it for the world. Sometimes I think I want to go back and do it, because that's like one of my first loves, is actually to make people feel good. But yeah, some of the connections I had actually came out of that, but a lot of them actually just came from just going out there and hustling and just letting go and let God. So I think my path was already chosen, and now I'm walking into it.
And you also talked to us about you being in the tourism sector for so long, and I think it's fitting that you work with tourism, because you, as a musician, I think one of the best, I guess, radars, one of the best measurements for culture is music. And you're one of the, like, most of, if you count down the top 20 Bahamian songs you know the most, your songs fall up there. So how important it is for you to be, as a musician, you're an ambassador for the Bahamas, but also you work in the tourism industry of the Bahamas.
Well, it's important to have the right people in the right place, because one thing that we have to thrive on and we must believe in is our culture. That's all we got. You don't want to come home one day and find out that the Chinese are singing Rick and Scrape because we chose we don't want to do it anymore. And that's what separates us from the world. You go to anywhere else in the world, people doing what they want to do. So we have to concentrate on who we are and what this is that we are, and present that always and put that to the forefront.
And I remember, I think it was in 2014, I attended an Isla MMTS, and it was like some music model talent showcase, and you were one of the artists there. I mean, you performed birthday song, and I mean, these artists, these producers, these actors from all over the States and Canada and Europe, they was like losing their mind. And you think something as simple as a birthday song is just a birthday song, but how you did it really touched. And talk to me about seeing that response to this in general, response to that song.
That was, again, that's bone chilling, and as always, I've been told that Rake and Scrape or Bahamian music can't go here or it can't go there. And there are a lot of people that don't believe in the music. I guess because it's not sitting in a world genre, so it's kind of classed as either folklore music, or I don't even know how they're classing it today. But it's a good feeling, because you get to see international people see something that they've never seen before. They've heard something they've never heard before, and they fall in love with it. I did a show before in Jay-Z's nightclub, and he showed up in there, and I turned the whole place into a ring place. So again, like, they don't know what this thing is. I think sometimes as Bahamians, we don't totally understand what it is.
Agreed.
That's just the African in us. But we do it anyway, and it's so beautiful that it's contagious, and everybody wants to be a part of it. So to me, that whole experience was awesome. I'm looking forward to always doing stuff like that. The birthday song now is licensed for the Wheel of Fortune show. And so it's moving without me even touching it. And the Bedford Bandit song is now on a movie in Canada. So these things are out there. These are I guess this type of success stories are for people that don't believe in the culture. The culture is very strong. We need to make sure that everybody that's in charge is involved in making sure that the culture stays alive.
And just talk to me about your writing process because something like the Barefoot Band, I mean, you took complete advantage of that situation. You see what is happening and you just made it. So talk to me about your writing process or puzzle. You sitting down, going about your life, and you see something in the news, you hear something. Just talk to me about how it gets from you seeing it to actually going through the process of making a song. Because you have a jack of all trades, so you could write it, you could sing it, you could produce it, you can probably do the engineering. So talk to me about that.
Wow, I remember I was just coming back home from Canada, and he was just about to be caught. My mother was looking at the TV. Her and my sister, she's like, "Look at this boy. They saw him catch him." I said, "Yeah, it's only a amount of time because once you land in the Bahamas, we only so big."
Exactly.
So he started doing what he do, and I was like, "You know what?" They said, "Why don't you write a rake and scrape song?" I said, "Man, I don't want to write no rake and scrape song." I was fresh out of Canada producing like pop songs. It's like, man, just write it. So I said, okay. I read the newspaper. I did a little research on who he was and where he was coming from, and I wrote that song in like 50 and 20 minutes. I went into the studio and I came up with the concept for the beat in like an hour. And so that's why as soon as he got caught, it felt like as soon as he got caught, the song came out because it was already in play.
You were just waiting for them to fire that.
I was just waiting for them to say, put the handcuffs on him, give him some collect and count solid. That's how we caught it.
And you said it's been in a movie again. So talk to me about over the years. I feel like maybe you got calls in America, like because it's been a while since then. So talk to me about others probably achievements you got from that song.
Which one?
Barefoot Bandit.
Oh yeah, I was in Scotland before and people were singing that. Like the song, it's just amazing how music just travels and it just goes without us telling it anything. Once it's good music, like you find people, they will find you. I've had people find me and I didn't know, like even when they called me from the Wheel of Fortune show, this woman was like, she was trying to hunt me down for 3 weeks.
Wow.
She's like, I'm calling from LA. It's like, who are you? She says, is this the real artist puzzle? I said, yes, it is. She's like, we were trying to find you because we want to license your song for our game show. I was like, which? She's like, the Wheel of Fortune. It's like, wow. Like, you just never know. But the thing is, like, I take one song at a time. Right down to the saw, everything, there's no samples. Everything has to be played for that particular song to give it that particular feel. So there's no cheat. Everything comes from a blank sheet of paper, and we have to take each song as an individual child. There's no twin. Each one of these children are going to be individual.
And if you were to pick a favorite song, like if they say possibly, like I know it's hard to pick your cherry, pick your song, but if you were to pick one favorite that maybe meant have a sentimental value to you, what would that song be?
That's a really tough thing to say. Believe it or not, I really love my Sour Vibe song.
No more vibes, no sour vibes. See, girl, I never meant to hurt you. And no more lies, no lies. It's only to you, puzzle want to be true. Why can't we try, just try to always be there for each other? And here's why, here's why. 'Cause I know wish to fall in love with another.
I didn't know it was you at first, but I was like, this song like possible. I ain't too sure. And then I heard you perform it from time. I say mother sex, and that just shows you the range, the talent that you and you don't have to be stuck in the box. You could be because like a lot of people don't know that was you in Sour Voice. A lot of people don't know you do dance like Animal. People don't know Animal is you. But when people think of puzzle, they think of because we used to unplug. They talk to you as a vein of a new Ronnie Butler part two. So they think people see puzzle like as a generation. People see puzzle as this hardcore behemoth artists who they think they are, but they don't understand that you have done all of this, and maybe as other generations who probably didn't believe in your reconstruct, when you see puzzle as this, he won't do this and that. So just talk to me about Sour Vibes. Why that particularly you like that?
I like songs like that. I have other songs like that too, because the message in the song is you're trying to encourage somebody that's in love with their partner that's going through a problem to stay with their person. And, in our country today, I mean, even worldwide, but we find that a lot of people can't take pressure. Whenever their relationship goes through something, they tend to give up very quickly. So, I like the message in the song. The song is saying, no more vibes, no more sour vibes. I never meant to hurt you. It's just like, honey, you might have misunderstood what you saw, or you might have gotten a text from somewhere that didn't mean what you thought it meant. This is for us to remember that we belong to each other. Let's stay together. I'm all about togetherness. Yeah.
So possibly, yeah, and then you about a month and a half left. So let people know where they could see you, they could find you. Maybe as you have a shows coming up, let them know where they can find you on social media, SoundCloud, and what to look forward to, because 2018 is a blank slate. What is up for Puzzle next year?
Ah, boy, I'm almost done with the new studio right now. I've just been in hiatus, just doing my thing, just being a person, a regular person. I ease off a little bit, spending some time, just chilling out and trying to catch up with life itself and making sure I'm staying healthy, working out. And I think for me, the Bahamas is getting ready to see not only like new rake and scrape music, but there's a new secret coming. I'm not going to talk it. But I have a new thing that I'm working on. So 2018, the sky is the limit, and we're going to take this thing to the world.
And it's your social media, your YouTube page, just people find
Yeah,
you.
you just go on Puzzle Man, you type in Puzzle Man Bahamas, you're gonna find me. I'm very easy to find. And every week I'm doing shows at Breezes, so I'm everywhere. I'm just trying to, Christmas is coming. I'm trying to lay back.
You want to spend time with the family, just relax.
Yeah, we trying to chill out now. It's time to eat some food and you work hard all year, time to chill.
So this is Puzzle. Stay tuned for all you got coming up. So you can see me Bridges every week. This is TIMMAY and you're watching Who Dat.
It's time to take our kids way back to the old school where Bookie and Barabi was sitting by the pool. Well, Bookie say, "I bored man, let's head down by the barn. The animals having ring play, the farmers out of town, so we'll be dancing, dancing, dancing while looking for someone to come dance. Keep dancing, yes, you must keep dancing. Keep dancing, dancing, dancing while looking for someone to come dance."